Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Consumer Tech. My name is Banele. Today is a big day because Microsoft has just recently announced Windows 11. Now, a couple of years ago, they did say that Windows 10 is going to be the last version of Windows, but here we are 6 years later with Windows 11. So I watched the keynote, and guys, I have to say I am particularly excited about a number of features which I'll share in a second. But one thing that really stood out for me is that Microsoft is reinvesting a lot of energy into Windows, because I think a couple of years ago they left it dormant, and when the pandemic began and they saw that a lot of people are making use of computers, that's when they decided to reinvest and make the operating system a little bit better. So in 2021, they announced Windows 11, and it should be coming out sometime soon, even though they did not really mention a date. But I'm thinking somewhere around October. Panos Panay did say that go out and buy a Windows PC with Windows 11. So if you're thinking, will you be able to update your current Windows 10 machine to Windows 11? Yes, you'll be able to do that. And one thing that also stood out for me is that with Windows 11, they are bringing together Windows 10X, which was supposed to be for lightweight devices to compete with Chromebooks. So they're bringing together Windows 10 and what was supposed to be Windows 10X together. So they took a lot of these UI elements from Windows 10X and incorporated them into Windows 11. So without wasting any more time, the one thing that I am excited about is the start menu, because it looks different. So for those that are coming from Windows 7, they should feel at home whenever they see the start menu of Windows 11. Right. So it's simple. They did away with the live tiles, so they're no longer there. But in my opinion, the live tiles made sense when Windows Phone was still around. But since, Windows Phone is no more, I don't see a need for us or for me to have live tiles, even though personally myself, I enjoyed live tiles. Even from when Windows 8 came out, it was a new, fresh user experience. And personally, I'm good when it comes to change. I'm not that fussy. But for the first time, when I saw screenshots of Windows 11, I was a little bit worried because it looked like a watered down experience of the start menu. And I was really worried. But after seeing the whole keynote of what it is that they incorporated, then I'm particularly not that worried anymore. So here's one thing that I picked up. So the start menu is very, very simple. As you can see, we've got some icons, and then at the bottom, it is a suggestion of documents that you were working on previously. And then on the top right corner, you can click on it to view your all apps list, which is similar to Windows 10. But here's what they did, in my opinion. I think they took the tiles and converted them into something called widgets, right? And it's just like a smartphone. Whenever you swipe from your home screen, let's say to the left-hand side, and I'm talking purely Android, this is where you can gain access to your widgets. So I think what Microsoft is doing is they're trying to invite developers, companies to make use of the widgets section so that they can incorporate a lot of these applications or useful applications inside the widget pane. But other than that, they've moved live tiles and they've kind of rebranded them into widgets. So because I loved live tiles, we can still get live tiles or widgets in this case when you swipe from the left, and then that's where you should see it. So that's what I picked up from the whole start menu. And then there's also search, right, which still looks a little bit the same, even though it's been updated there and there. But for the most part, it looks the same as Windows 10. And as you can see from these screenshots, they don't necessarily look that different from Windows 10. But what is different is settings. So settings has gotten a overhaul. And by me looking at it, I'm thinking this looks kind of familiar, or it looks the same as settings on a smartphone, for example. So my take is this, that is Microsoft trying to create an operating system where people are familiar with, and for those that do not have, let's say, for those that have a smartphone and convert to, let's say, buying Windows, it should look like something that's more familiar, because I didn't see the whole start menu in full screen, but for when the window was slightly resized, it did look like a window or settings from a smartphone, but it looks good nonetheless. It really looks good, because the whole of Windows 11 got a UI refresh where you've got rounded corners. They made use of different textures like glass and so on. So I'm really, really excited, and I'll come out with more news whenever they release a release date. And I think the update should be free of charge. So I don't think if you have Windows 10 running, Windows 8 or Windows 7, you would have to buy an upgrade license. You will be able to gain access to Windows 11 for free of charge. So another thing that they introduce is themes, and they've got different themes. Your dark mode, your light mode, and so on. So you can pick and choose between a number of themes, and this will basically give your Windows 11 interface a fresh coat of paint, and it should look good, because I saw the video. It did look that awesome. And another thing that's been there on Windows since back in the days, but has been in the background, is the ability to snap different windows. And what they did with Windows 11, they basically surfaced that feature, and it is now in a visual interface that allows you to choose where you want to snap your windows. And with Windows 11, you'll be able to remember the state of different windows by creating groups, and whenever you launch that group, it will automatically dock the different windows into their respective places. So because I make use of multiple monitors, sometimes 3 at most, this should be a handy feature that I'm definitely looking forward to. And then because I do online training, I make use of Microsoft Teams to conduct a lot of my training. And the fact that Teams has been built into the operating system, I think this is a good thing, because it allows me not to actually open the application itself, but I'm able to talk to individuals just by navigating to the Teams icon. Now, I'm not sure if the icon is final, but it did look like one of those icons that's similar to Zoom. So now that I'm thinking about it, I think this is a strategy from Microsoft to not make people wary of the Teams icon. So it looks a little bit like Zoom, so you'll just click on it and start texting people. So what's nice about Teams is that it does not matter what device you're using, just as long as you've got a smartphone or a browser, it doesn't really matter. It's platform agnostic, right? So you'll be able to text anyone. And my question is this, that right now in Windows 10, we've got the Meet Now feature, which is somewhere on the bottom right, which allows you to connect via Skype to other individuals. So I don't know if they are then replacing Skype with Teams, right? So we'll get more information on that. And what's next? Let's see. Right, so I did talk a little bit about the widgets, and what I want to see happen with regards to widgets is more and more developers porting their applications to widgets, right? And if I were to go back to the Teams integration, since Microsoft did say that their platform is open, I would like for them to at least release some APIs around the messaging or other vendors to build a similar experience to the one. A similar experience to Microsoft Teams, where they can basically create a Zoom application where when you install it, it takes on the same properties as Microsoft Teams, where you can have it on the taskbar and without even having to open the actual application, be able to text people. So apps like WhatsApp, apps like Zoom, Slack, and other chat applications, hopefully, if they can harness the same amount of power as Teams, then that should be great, because I make use of a lot of these chat applications. So that should be awesome. And then one thing that I'm really particularly excited about is the fact that Android applications are coming to Windows, right? So I do a little bit of coding, and a couple of years ago Microsoft introduced WSL, which stands for Windows Subsystem for Linux, and basically they were incorporating binaries of Linux into Windows, which then meant that whenever you wanted to develop websites or any other application that made use of Linux, you didn't necessarily have to run a virtual environment of Linux, but you could make use of Windows Subsystem for Linux. So I attended a boot camp somewhere in Johannesburg, and we were making use of Macs, and they then said that, look, everything that we're doing right now should be done in a Mac and so on. But because of Mac is also underlined through Unix, right? I then fired up my Windows PC, installed Windows Subsystem for Linux, which allowed me the same environment or coding environment as the ones making use of Macs. So why is this important? This is important because Android is running on Linux, right? Android is on Linux. So for the mere fact that Windows has binaries of Linux, it means that they can also run Android applications, right? So Microsoft is then partnering with Amazon, and they are then bringing the Amazon Store, App Store, into the Windows Store, and they are then bringing together these applications all under one interface. So the applications, the apps that are on Amazon App Store, like TikTok, think of any Android application that is on the Amazon Store, you will be able to install it directly onto your Windows machine. Now, they did say something that did not necessarily sit right with me because I'm not really sure about it, but they did say that this is made possible through Intel, right? So it's a technology that Intel has implemented for them to be able to run these Android applications on Windows. And I'm thinking, because recently I bought an AMD laptop, the Lenovo Flex 5. So for the mere fact that it's running AMD, I'm not sure if this will be able to work on my AMD machine. But other than that, this is awesome, right? This is awesome. I think Apple did the same thing where on your Mac machine, you'll be able to run iOS applications. So with Windows right now, on Windows 11, if you have a Android app that you need, it could be anything like smart automation apps, then you will be able to run those applications on your machine. So I'm excited because when it comes to streaming online, like TikTok, like Instagram and these other applications, we will be able to stream on the PC, hopefully connecting other peripheral, just so that we can make our streaming experience just a little bit better. But this is something to look forward to. And then there's a new Microsoft Store. It looks clean, it looks elegant. This is something that I'm particularly looking forward to. And I think they've, unified the whole experience, because back in the days, they used to say that, look, guys, if you want to write an application that will be on the Microsoft Store, then it should be coded in UWP. But with Windows 11, the new store, it doesn't matter what piece of software or language that you use. So you can write applications in Win32. You can write applications in UWP. You can also create PWA websites. It doesn't matter. So what they're basically saying is, if you're a developer, use the tools that you are familiar with. And if you want to bring your application to the Windows Store, you're more than welcome to do that. So that's one takeaway, which I think will be awesome for developers. Right, so guys, before I close, there's also gaming. And for those that are interested in gaming, they've basically made a number of improvements where Windows, whenever you update Windows, it is 40% lighter. It is much faster. And I've seen a couple of benchmarks online where they're running the same test on the same machine, but one is running Windows 11 and the other one is running Windows 10. And mind you, with Windows 11, it's not even the final release build, but it was way faster than the one that is running Windows 10. So on your machine right now, what you should be seeing is a boost in performance when it comes to your machine running on Windows 11. So guys, I've said a mouthful, but if you're looking at watching the stream, I did live stream it, where I was doing a reaction video to the actual live stream. So there's just so much to talk about, and what I'll do is I'll be releasing a lot of these videos. But anyway, if you love tech and you love this kind of stuff like I do, then please make sure that you do subscribe, and I'll be having a video out possibly every week regarding Windows 11. And I'm so excited, guys. I'm really excited, because like I said, the last time I was excited was with Windows Phone, right? And as you know, Windows Phone is no more. So thank you very much for watching, and again, I'll see you again next time, and yeah, stay blessed.